What's up, fellow nerds? Welcome to the Midwest Marvel Podcast, and today the boys are back, baby. The dynamic duo's back, finally. I told you guys. I know nobody believed me because it was like 2 months worth of Zeke being gone, and everyone thought he was dead or just felt like went to space. Or, yeah, I'll leave it there. I was going to make a bad joke about the Titanic thing, but that's bad taste. I won't go there. But no, Zeke is back, baby. Man, I'm excited. It's good to have you back, dude.
Dude, it's so good to be back. You know, life gets in the way. So.
It does, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. So, man, on today's episode, I'm excited about this. We are going to talk Secret Invasion Episode 3, give our reaction, our thoughts, our theories regarding that, and what's to come for the rest of the show. We're also going to talk about some other general things. We're going to do Yes and No, which is our hot takes segment, or maybe it's not even hot takes, just a segment we like to do. And then we're going to talk about some stuff coming down the pike for movies in general. Two of them being very, very, very highly publicized, and we'll get into that in a second. So, man, I'm pumped, and let's just get going. So, dude, how's life though?
I mean, it's good. I've been wedding planning, so
our boy's getting married.
Yeah,
in a month. In a month, that's wild.
Yeah, that's all been going on, but I have been keeping up with Marvel, so don't worry. I actually have like a whole list of stuff that we need to do that I need to send your way after
ideas.
this.
I love it. We need ideas. That's good.
Because I was like, I'm still invested. I still listened. I was still tuning in. Our schedules is just they're difficult right now.
It's been nuts. We've had vacations, traveling, moving, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just been crazy going on. Life's been good for us. We've taken a couple of vacations, which has been good. Did a podcast on the road last week, literally in the car while I was the one driving on the highway, going like 80 miles an hour, podcasting the entire time. I'm pretty sure that's highly illegal, but we pulled it off. So that was kind of fun. Weird. I started playing. Did you ever play Pokemon Go? Was that something you ever did?
I like hopped on it. I was never like into it.
Really?
I would hop on it, and then some friends would be like, "Hey," like I'd delete it, and then they'd be like, "Hey, you should get it again." I'd be like, "Okay, I'll get it again," and I'd play it for a little bit, and then I'd be like, phone games have never really like
not your thing.
They've never just kept my attention.
Yeah, bro, I was hooked on Pokemon. Like when that was at the height of its craze, I was in it, dude. I mean, I was playing every day. The church that I worked at was a gym, and so we had probably 7 or 8 people that played, and we would do raids at the gym. People would show up to the church just to play it. Carly and I, like she played, we would go out. I can remember like one of the first weeks that it started, we went to, you've lived in Fort Wayne, remember the old fort?
Yeah.
So we went to the old fort, for those of you guys that aren't familiar. So it's just, we live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and basically there's like an old replica fort of, the fort, hence the name. And it's not really anything special at all. Don't think like if you come to Fort Wayne, I want to see the fort. No, don't. It's boring. But great Pokemon spot. And at night they like have it lit up, and it's near a river. It's in our downtown area. And I remember we went to the old fort one of the first nights at like 10 o'clock because someone told us that it was a hot spot. And so we went to the old fort at 10 at night in the summer. I kid you not, dude. There were like 200 people. This isn't a big place. There were like 200 people walking around playing Pokemon Go at 10:30 at night. And that's when I knew this game was just different. Anyway, all I had to say, Carly actually got me playing again. She stopped playing way before I did. I kept playing. She got annoyed because I played it so much. And now she picked it back up, and she got me playing it, and now I'm hooked again. I spent like an hour and a half today walking Zane and playing Pokemon Go. So we're back in that era.
One phone game I do have that's pretty consistent is Marvel Contest of Champions.
Oh, I need to try. I actually not try that. I have tried that. I need to get back on that because that game is fun. You don't play Clash of Clans, do you?
I used to.
Bro, you should get back on and get in my clan because I'm late to that party, but I'm hooked on that as well. I've spent money on that game.
Really?
Yeah, it's not good.
That's funny.
Okay, I do have a very serious question though. Are you threading?
My threading?
Are you threading? Do you know what threading is?
Uh-uh.
Have you heard of threads?
Oh, the Instagram
Yeah.
threads? No, I'm not.
You're not threading? Dude, you're not
Uh-uh.
cool. You're not cool
I
anymore. You can't
know.
be on the podcast.
I've thought about getting onto it for all my biblical counseling stuff, but I'm like, I don't know. That's just one more social. I hardly use my Instagram and like TikTok as it
Yeah.
is.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know. I've got too much going on. I feel
Yeah.
like if I had more free time,
Yeah, that's
I'd
true.
consider it.
Yeah, dude, it's honestly a genius move by Zuckerberg because that thing has like 80 million users or something already, which is just an insane amount of number. And because the way he did it is that it syncs all the contacts from Instagram. So you can literally transfer all the people you follow from Instagram onto this threads and you're just instantly following a ton of people. And it's really easy to become a user because it just signs up your Instagram info. Uh, yeah, it's stinking brilliant, and Zuckerberg is out here
Making moves.
just throwing haymakers at Elon Musk, dude.
Who's winning in that fight, Elon or
Bro,
Zuck?
Zuck's already won. Dude, the actual fight, if Zuckerberg and Elon actually do end up fighting, Zuckerberg might actually kill that dude. That man,
Dude,
first of all, let's not act like Zuckerberg isn't a cyborg, all right? We all know he's not fully human. Second of all, I'm pretty sure he does pretty intense training with like jujitsu and MMA and
yeah,
stuff like that. Bro, he will annihilate Musk. Like, oh, okay, but realistically, though, Musk might be an alien. So there's that too. We don't know what kind of superpowers he actually has. Like, he could just be jacked up. Like, you
could be
know,
a super scroll.
he could be a scroll man. So I don't know. Imagine you get into the fight and it looks like Zuck is getting ready to just take him down, and all of a sudden, like Elon grows like 3 sizes larger, and suddenly he's like 10 feet tall, Hulk like dude. I don't know. My money's
Looks
on
like the
Zuck. My money's on
abomination.
Zuck, but there's definitely an X factor with Elon. Also, I think Elon has a level of psychotic that Zuck just doesn't have, and there's something to be said about that in a fight.
That's true. That's true. And I picked Zuck just because he's got the age on Elon too.
He does, he does have the age. That's that definitely worth noting. That was funny. Okay, let's talk about some exciting movies that are coming up because in just a couple weeks, dude, Barbenheimer is coming out.
I know.
Barbie and Oppenheimer coming out in the same day. Barbenheimer is the greatest like crossover name in history. Here's the real question: which one are you going to see first? And are you going to see them on the same day?
I will probably go see them on the same day, and I'm going to save the best for last of what I think the best
Ooh,
one's going to be, and watch Oppenheimer second.
watch
And then
Oppenheimer.
Barbie
So yeah,
first.
I mean Chris Nolan's track record, like you're guaranteed for that movie to be an all time great. I mean, I feel like Nolan's had maybe one miss, and some people don't even consider it a miss, but I didn't like Tenet. It was okay, but to me, it wasn't anything near what. And I was lost. I fell asleep during Tenet because I know his movies are in depth anyway, and I follow all of them. That one dude just had me gone. Like, and Carly too. Both of us were lost in the sauce in that movie.
That was one I had to watch like twice and like really like be like what's going on here?
Yeah,
Because it's
and
like kind of like time travel, but not time
dude,
travel.
yeah, it had me. It had me all over the place, and there. It's one thing when it's a movie that's kind of like confusing and you have to watch it again to catch a lot of stuff, but it's still good the first time. Inception was that way for me. Like
Everything
Inception,
everywhere all at once.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like all those. Inception was fantastic to me the first time, but when I watched it the second time, it got even better. Tenet just wasn't that good for me the first time because I was so confused. I was like a little kid in a mirror maze, man. I had no idea what was real and what was I lost.
Same here. Dune was like that for me as well.
The new Dune,
No, the Timothy Chalamet
yeah,
one.
dude, bro. Have you seen a trailer for part two?
I have. I still want to go see it.
Oh man, dude,
I'm
part two
still just a
looks.
little lost.
Carly has read the book, and so
Oh,
she
okay.
said first of all that the first part one, was pretty accurate to the book. Second of all, she said that part two, assuming it stays fairly accurate, is just going to be nuts. Like way more action packed, and the trailer looks that way. The most recent trailer they released for that is one of the better movie trailers I feel like I've ever seen It was
Yeah,
incredible. Uh,
super good.
yeah, I really want to see Oppenheimer and Barbie on the same day. I just don't know if we're gonna be able to swing it. Uh, I want to see Oppenheimer first for almost the opposite, like not the opposite reason. I want to see Oppenheimer first. I think it'll probably be the better of the two. Barbie would probably be the more rewatchable, unless it just flops, unless it's a terrible movie, which I can't expect that it is. But they'll probably be more rewatchable. Oppenheimer's probably going to be somewhat depressing, if we're being honest, knowing what it's
Yeah,
about. And I've heard it's even a horror movie in some senses, like just because you see what the atomic bomb did, and in that sense, it's a horror film. I get it. So I feel like I want to end it on a high note, which would be Barbie, rather than be a little more depressed. But I agree with you that I think Oppenheimer would be the better movie.
yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think I'd rather like in my head I'm like just get Barbie out of the way. I guess I probably won't see him at the same time just because
Oh, see,
I'm
I'm
not as
really
hyped.
looking forward to Barbie. That movie looks hilarious.
I think it looks funny, but I think it's one of those where I'm like, I don't know. Part of me wants to stay in the dark about it until it comes out by itself and I can watch it in the comfort of my own home.
Really?
And
Oh man, no
yeah,
way, dude. That
but it's
cast is so loaded. I both of them are actually,
yeah.
but
RDJ's an Oppenheimer, isn't he?
he is. Yeah, yeah. Oppenheimer has a ton of people. Both of them do. Okay, here's the thing about Barbenheimer though. You cannot convince me that the marketing teams for these two movies did not get together at some point and plan for a same day release. I know same day releases happen all the time with movies, so it's not like that's out of the blue. It happens. But two movies like this that are both loaded casts that are also so popular, right? You got just a movie about a toy franchise that is beloved by so many people, and then you got a movie by one of the greatest directors of all time. Both those happening, and at the same time, they're also polar opposites. One is going to be a super dark and heavy and serious movie. The other is a Barbie movie. Literal opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I feel like because of that, they've been marketed so well together. And it's been so easy to push it together. And you can't tell me that people from those different marketing teams didn't plan that,
No,
because
they had
I
to have.
I know
They
they would
missed
have
out
gotten
on
watched
something though.
anyway. I know they would have gotten watched anyway, but like they've definitely gotten more marketing than they would have if they were coming out a month apart or even weeks apart.
Yeah. I saw I think it was a screenshot of a thread of somebody saying that the Oppenheimer marketing team missed out on blowing up the Barbie house for,
Bro.
for part of
Dude,
their
that's I
promotion.
I was thinking about that earlier today. I'm like, because I keep interviewing a lot of the actors, and Cillian Murphy made a quote today where he said he's excited to see Barbie, and other people like Margot Robbie has said the same thing, and so is Ryan Gosling. They're like, we're excited to see Oppenheimer, and obviously they're going to push each other's movies, but part of me wants to see him just like, no, our movie is infinitely better. You need to see our movie, and I want to see them go at it. And then, yeah, exactly what you're saying. I want to see marketing that, like, I want to see them start to skew each other's ads. Like, you see pink Oppenheimer ads that are created by the Barbie movie, and you see, yeah, Barbie ad, it looks like a Barbie ad, and all of a sudden it just blows up. that's the kind of energy I want to see from my marketing teams. But yeah, it's been good either way. Okay, let's stick on the topic of Chris Nolan for a second, because I did a video about this on social media and I wanted to hear your thoughts. So you've probably seen pretty much all the like famous Chris Nolan movies, right? You got your Dark Knight, Interstellar, Tenet,
Yeah.
Inception. All. I haven't seen Dunkirk actually, which I'm sad to
I
say
have
because
seen
I've heard that's
Dunkirk.
great.
It is really good, but like in comparison with like Inception and
Right.
Dark Knight, it's hard to it's
Because those
good.
are all time greats. So
Yeah, those are all
that's the
time greats,
thing.
and it's Dunkirk is good. I'm not saying it's not good in any way, but just because he's got those in his repertoire,
Yeah.
like it's hard. It's like
There's
it's gonna
levels to
happily
it.
sit there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Chris Bosh and the Miami Heat in that big three. It's like
that's such a great comparison. It's like, yeah, Chris Bosh is a really good player, but he's not D Wade or LeBron.
LeBron.
That's such a fantastic comparison. I love that. Oh no, you just went dark. There we go. Oh man, that's funny. Dude, I'm gonna start using that anytime I want to compare like levels to things. I'm gonna be like, it's Chris Bosh. Your light keeps going out for some reason. Are you doing anything to it, or is that like?
No, someone's trying to call me, and
Oh,
my
that's what it is.
iPad
Okay,
wants my phone.
gotcha. I was like, are you losing power? Okay, so with Nolan, obviously one of the big things about him is that this dude does like no CGI. Anytime he can avoid using CGI, he does
Yeah,
it. He revealed this week that there was literally zero CGI used in Oppenheimer, and of course the memes from that
there
have
we
just
go.
been phenomenal. The one that I saw was like Cillian Murphy every day on the Oppenheimer set, and it's the video from Spider-Man 1 of Aunt May praying at the bed right before Green Goblin bombs their house. It's just like, bro. But it
I
got me
just
think.
watched that Spider-Man.
Did you?
Dang, that's funny. Yeah.
Good movie, man. Good movie. But it got me thinking though, like what's your favorite moment from Nolan that like should have been CGI but wasn't? So if you're not familiar with some of the what the big ones are, the truck flip in The Dark Knight
Right.
is like that was like the OG. The fact that the in Tenet when the plane crashes, that was legit. That was not CGI.
Yeah.
That the plane crashing into the hangar, that dude did that. Psychopath. Then the plane in The Dark Knight Rises in the first scene, doing like dropping the plane from the sky,
Right.
also not CGI. What is
Yeah.
it? This dude planes, man. Gosh, what
Probably
else?
that Dark Knight one. That's the one that comes to mind
The
most.
truck,
No,
the plane.
one.
Dude, the plane one is
Yeah.
the plane is dropping a plane from the sky is wild. Crashing a plane into a hangar, also both of them just wild.
Crashing any sort of vehicle in general, wild. Making well, I guess now the new one is probably the atomic bomb.
Yeah, bro, I I can't wait to see that. I just want to see some of that and be like, dude, how did he pull this off? Just some.
And how big is it gonna be? Like, literally, have they said how big that blast is?
I don't know if they've said how big it is or not. I mean, I'm assuming it ain't small. Obviously, it's not atomic bomb size, but it had to be somewhat big.
Yeah, so it's got to be.
The dude is an absolute psychopath. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah,
Gosh, what are some other ones? I did learn that in The Dark Knight when he flips the semi, there was a stunt driver in. They actually had somebody driving that, which is kind of nuts.
Whew.
And then
That
I
was
went back
awesome.
and watched the video of how they made that. It was pretty cool. God,
What's the one in Interstellar? There's one in
dude,
Interstellar.
Interstellar. It's kind of a dumb one, but it's also funny at the same time. The cornfield when they're doing the cornfield chase with the drone. The dude bought a cornfield, like he bought land and planted his own cornfield and had to wait for this thing to grow and then sold it when they were done and made a profit off of it. So he's not just a good director, he's a good businessman.
And two, he's like, "Yo, let me buy this field real quick." Spends
Yeah.
a
Like it would have been
and
so
we
much
know.
it would have been so
We're
much
from
easier to do
Indiana.
in CGI.
We know how long corn takes to grow. We're
Right,
from
yeah, we're
Indiana.
around it all the time. Oh,
That's a
yeah, that
long
one.
time, man.
That one's funny to me. And then again, I haven't seen Dunkirk, but I've also heard that in Dunkirk there's a scene with like or a couple scenes where there's like an entire army of thousands of people, and he rather than use CGI to replicate people, which movies often do, they'll get a few extras and then just kind of duplicate them, and you can never tell when they're far away. No, he still had a ton of extras, but then he also just used cardboard cutouts that looked like real people for all the other ones rather than actually duplicate them. I'm like, bro, that had to have taken so long for people. Like, someone had
Just
to make
set 'em
all
up.
those. Imagine being the people making this stuff. Like, bro, like, why is this my job? Can't someone just digitally render this in? Oh, that stuff is funny to me. All right. Last question before we get to we'll do listener Hall of Fame in a second, and then we'll do yes or no, and then secret evasion. But last question, I asked this on TikTok today, and I'm curious as to what your answer is. So I asked what a popular movie or like classic movie is that you haven't seen. So one that most people would consider to be an all-time great, right? So and I got a couple of answers I was looking through
Okay.
of ones that people had responded because some of them are wild, dude. But for me,
I
the
have
one
some
that I
wild ones.
said was Shawshank Redemption, which I'm ashamed to say I haven't seen because I know that's widely considered maybe a top 3 movie of all time by a lot of people.
Yeah,
I'm ashamed to say that I haven't seen that one, and it's not because I don't want to. I just, those movies you just haven't gotten around to seeing. That's
yeah,
that's that for me. That one and Jaws. Jaws I don't feel like is quite as shocking, even though it's one of the OG
yeah.
thrillers. But Shawshank, it just hasn't
Need
happened. I
to
want to
watch
see
that
it,
one.
but I need to see it,
What are some of the other ones people were saying? Because
bro.
I bet I could probably like string together. Because I haven't seen quite a few
Really,
that
dude.
yeah.
The probably
Unfortunately.
the most wild one that I saw anybody say is someone said they hadn't seen The Lion King.
Oh,
Someone
okay.
someone legitimately has not like The Lion King, dude. That is arguably the greatest animated movie of all time. That movie has been around for gosh, how old am I? It's like 30 years? No, not quite that long.
And
25,
no,
somewhere in there.
yeah, it's only like two. It was 1998, so it's got two
Okay,
years on
bro.
me.
Yeah, The Lion,
Like
like what?
25 years old.
And it still holds up well. It's not like it's a bad animated movie and you go back and watch it and you're like, oh, this movie sucks now. No, it's still fantastic. How have you not seen The
Yeah,
Lion King?
yeah.
Uh,
I've
Toy,
seen The Lion King.
yeah, good. Toy Story was another one that I was also like, huh?
I've only seen the first three Toy Story movies, and I think I fell asleep in the fourth one.
That's fair though. But you've seen Toy Story though. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
of course. Grew up on that one. But I will say for me, the ones that I haven't seen are most of the classic Disney movies.
Okay.
So like
Name one. Like what?
like Cinderella, Snow
Okay.
White, Bambi, Beauty and the Beast. Like,
Beauty. You haven't seen Beauty and the Beast?
nope.
What, dude? You're missing. What?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's my
How
excuse.
have you not seen Beauty and
My
the Beast? At first, I wasn't going to react to it, and then the more I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute. Beauty and the Beast.
my
Like, I can
my
excuse Cinderella and Bambi.
my dad like chose the movies for us to watch, and it wasn't like he was against Disney movies. It was just he wanted to watch what he wanted to watch, so he had to find appropriate
And
stuff.
Beauty and the Beast never made the cut.
And he just didn't want to watch Beauty and the Beast, so we watched Rocky instead. Like,
Okay, you know what? I can't really be mad at that. I guess that's a
so
pretty good trade off.
yeah,
All right.
like people are like, "What? You've never seen all these classic Disney movies?" I'm like, "No." Have you seen Rocky? And they're like, "No." And I'm like,
And that's a fair counterpoint. All right.
yeah.
You know what? I'll live with that one. Touche, sir.
And I want to. Right now, my
Yeah.
fiance is a big Disney fan, so we're going through and watching all the stuff, and I'm catching up.
Have you seen the new live action one or you haven't seen it at all? Like either version?
I've of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, the one with Emma Watson.
Uh-uh.
That one's good
We
too.
did just
They're
watch
both really
The
good.
Little Mermaid, though. I did.
I
Watch
heard
that.
that's good. I haven't gotten to
It's
see it
super
yet.
good.
Is it on
It is
Disney
super
Plus
good.
now? Or is it still out in theaters?
I think it's still out in theaters.
You guys
I
saw
think
it in
like
theaters?
next week. Yeah, we saw it 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. I did hear it was really good. I heard a lot of good feedback about it. Another movie that a lot of people said, I was surprised that this many people said this was The Godfather. That was a very
I
popular
have not
answer.
seen that one.
There's another one. Yeah, that's a very popular answer. So I
Or
feel
like,
like, yeah.
what's the one with Tom Hanks? Survivor
Oh, Castaway.
or Castaway?
Yeah. That's a good one. I wouldn't say that it's like shocking. It's one of those movies like it's a movie that you'll see once and yeah, it's good to see once, but after you watch it once, you're like, yeah, I don't ever need to see that again.
Right.
One of those movies. Which
I can't think of any.
sometimes I feel like when you know that going into it, you don't necessarily have that much desire because it's like, why am I going to want to see a movie that I'm only going to want to watch once?
Yeah.
Uh,
I have one that probably be surprising. I have not seen Titanic.
Actually, that was another popular one on the list, to be honest. Quite a few people said that, which, again, I get it because it's like a 4-hour movie, man. Or maybe it's like 3.
Really?
Maybe it's not quite 4. It might be more like 3. All I remember is that when I was little, we had the VHS, and it had to be split into 2 videos, like
VHS.
tapes, because it was so long. So,
Funny.
yeah.
You had to get there, put the pencil in, rewind it, and then stick the other one in.
Yeah, I would always watch the second half of it because the second half is where all the exciting stuff happened. Like the ship starts to sink in the second half, so it was where all the action was. So, Yeah, that's why I did, because I didn't have the attention span to sit there for a whole 3.5 hours or however long it is. All right. Let's do real quick listener Hall of Fame. Haven't done this for a while, but each week we try to highlight somebody that we know who listens to the show and just shout them out. We thank you guys for the support. We love you guys. It's been crazy because we've actually been getting a lot more listeners each episode as time has gone on. We started out at like 10 per episode each week, which was fine. Like I was happy that 10 people even want to listen to the show, so that's cool in and of itself. But now most of the weeks, most episodes, we're in like the 30 to 50 range, depending on like when you combine YouTube and the podcast platform. A lot of times it ends up right around there, which again, to some people may not be a lot. To me, I feel like that's crazy, and maybe it'll grow. I mean, that'll be cool. But to the 30, 50 people, of you that listen,
if you put them in a room, that's a lot.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, 50 people. Yeah, it's a good way to think about it. 50 people in a room. That's a pretty crowded room, depending on the size of the room.
Yeah.
No. So I appreciate you guys. I did want to shout out. So I made a post. I threaded. What are we calling that? Let's see. If you tweet, you post a tweet. You've tweeted. If you post a thread, if you thread it, are you sheeting? Someone said that, like a thread, like sheets. Are you sheeting? I was like, that sounds like I'm going to the bathroom. Yeah, I threaded. I don't know. That sounds weird, but I mentioned our podcast, and a couple of people on there happened to say that they were following the podcast and going to listen. So just wanted to shout them out. One of them is Wednesday Poll, mutual friend on TikTok, Twitter, and Threads. Appreciate you, man. He said he's going to check it out. IG as well. So he's a great account. You guys should definitely check him out. Again, Wednesday Poll, big comic page. Really, really, really well versed in comics and just a good follow overall. Captioned Life is another one. Same vein. All those social platforms. He's been really interactive on the IG pages, and I believe TikTok as well. Appreciate you, man. Check out his page as well. And then APW 1670 doesn't necessarily have like a big page, but just a follower on IG and on Threads. Said he was going to listen to the podcast. So appreciate all three of you guys and everybody else. Even if you haven't gotten a specific shout out, we love you guys. All right, let's move on to yes or no. So again, just to remind you guys, what we're going to do is we're going to say a statement. Some of them are hot takes, some of them aren't. They're just statements that we're going to either choose to agree or disagree with. We're going to count down from 3, and at the same time, we're going to either say yes, we agree, or no, we don't agree. And then we'll elaborate just a little bit on them, not too much, but we'll elaborate some. So I'll start. I got a Secret Invasion one to kick us off here, just keeping it thematic. So Gravik will be the best Disney Plus MCU show villain by the end of this show. 3, 2, 1. Yes.
No.
Okay.
I got to go with Kang.
Okay. Loki. I knew that's probably who it would be. See, I listen, I love Kang, but Kang is just in one episode. And granted, if you'd asked me before this series, and the answer may still be the same thing by the end of it. Maybe they'll fumble the bag. But if you'd asked me before the series, I'd said it was Kang. Now, one of the things I love the most about the show is that we get so much depth into Gravik. Like, it is so villain focused, which we've never gotten that in an MCU Disney Plus show. Never. Most of those shows hide who the villain is until there's like an episode and a half left. And this time we've not only have we gotten them from day one, but episode 3, or maybe it's episode 2, one of those 2 episodes followed him for most of the episode. And I'm just like, what? Yeah. What streaming platform am I watching this on? This isn't a Marvel Disney Plus show. They don't do villains well. And like, you can understand his motives, makes perfect sense. He's an absolute menace. The dude is dude is a menace.
He's a dog.
The acting from Kingsley Benadere, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is just amazing. Anyway, yeah, I love King, and gosh, he's so, like, that one episode he's in, goodness, that's a good episode. But I just feel like overall, I love the depth of Gravik and what we're getting from him. I hope they stick the landing with it.
I think they will.
All right.
But it's close. I think,
I will say, I'll save it for the review, for the episode review. Okay, you got a statement?
Yeah. Gravik is actually Fury's adopted son.
Okay. Are you counting it down?
Yeah, I'll count it down.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
No. I could definitely. No, I'm changing my answer. Yes, I'm changing my answer because here's why. Actually, this could end up going really deep, but it does not make sense to me in episode 1 that Fury did not shoot Gravik, because to me, that is not what Fury would do. Nick Fury would never hesitate in that situation, and he did. Why did he hesitate? I think it's one of two reasons. Either A, Gravik is a son, like adopted son,
Yeah.
or B, this is we'll get into these theories later, or B, both Furies were Skrulls. Or I mean, we knew the one was because Gravik was Fury for a second to shoot Maria Hill, and then he turned back. But the Fury that was there, the Fury that we've been seeing, is a Skrull. Not a bad Skrull, but he's a Skrull, and so that's why he hesitated, because he doesn't have the killer instinct that Nick Fury would have.
Glasses Fury is not a Skrull. No,
bro. I've been seeing this theory. It's wild.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Dude.
I don't think he is, mostly because in that there was that episode where Gravik's a kid.
You see the flashback.
Yeah, you see the flashback, and it doesn't necessarily say that it's what's her name's son, Fury's wife.
Well, no, because they said they found him. So
yeah, they found him.
Yeah,
so, but it could be they Fury and her
brought him in.
Yeah.
My only question is, because Fury. My question is, when did Fury abandon the Skrulls in the timeline? Like at what point did he just kind of like? Yeah,
out of there. Because
I don't know. I mean, we know when he went to space, or at least we think we know. But I mean, was he super heavily involved with the Skrulls before then? I don't know.
Yeah, it's giving me major Mysterio vibes.
Yeah. There's something off. Yeah. Something ain't right. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Okay. Next one. Secret Invasion will be the best Disney Plus Marvel show when it's done. 3,
like objectively, or
like in your opinion.
Oh, in my opinion.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. In your opinion. 3, 2, 1. Yes.
Yes.
I agree. I think if the show stopped today, I think it already is. Personally.
Yeah. It wouldn't. I don't think it beat out my favorites because I have biases. But I think objectively, I could look at it and go, it's the best one.
Yeah, that's fair. I honestly think it could be both. I think, objectively, I'll look at it. I think by far it's the most well-done show. It's not even close. The writing, insane. Cinematography is so good. The acting is phenomenal. The depth to the characters has been incredible. Like, the pacing has been good, which Marvel has sucked at with their Disney Plus shows for the most part. And again, they have room to screw it up. There's still 3 episodes left, and that's usually when the pacing gets wonky. But right now, fingers crossed, it's good. But I could see it being my favorite because I love Winter Soldier. That's my favorite movie. And this has those same exact vibes, that spy thriller espionage. It's dark. It's gritty. Dude, it's shocking for me to think that we're even watching an MCU show, because it does not feel like it. It does not feel like a show that's on Disney Plus, that was created by Disney Plus. I watched a man get stabbed in the hand with a butter knife, which no one's talking about how hardcore. Like, you went completely through a dude's hand with a butter knife, Talos. Okay, I didn't know you're like that. Watch the guy get hung up on a meat hook, and then just watch another guy get his finger cut off. And I'm like, what is this? What is this show? I love it. It gives me heavy Netflix Marvel show vibes. That's what I feel like I'm watching. Yeah. But it's not. And for that, oh gosh, I love every bit of it. Okay. I just did one, so if you have another one, you do one.
I do. Captain America.
Ooh.
Post Avengers Age of Ultron, or post Civil War. Captain America post Civil War.
Okay.
Is actually a Skrull. The real one went to the moon. And we're gonna see him in Secret Invasion. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. No. I saw that one. I thought it was really interesting.
You saw that online, dude? It just makes no sense to me, because like post Civil War, Cap had he had powers in Endgame and Infinity War. Like, that man was still superhuman, and Skrulls can't imitate that, at least not until now.
Well, Yeah, but Talos, even just by himself, he's not a super Skrull. He's a lot stronger than a human.
Yeah, but not Cap strong though. Like that man, like Infinity War, the way he
Yeah.
was sprinting with him and T'Challa, the two superhumans, and they're the only ones like sprinting past everybody. Like he just had his normal Cap powers. Like I feel like there would have definitely been a noticeable drop off, and there wasn't. Also, a Skrull would not have been able to pick up Mjolnir. I don't think.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
mean, yeah, yeah. No, I feel like theories like that, people are just grasping for straws because they want to just try
Yeah.
to like put something out there to get people talking. But like those are the ones like I've asked questions on my social media like what do you think of the big scroll reveals? And people just come up with some like stuff. I'm like, no, stop. Like those don't even make sense. Someone's like Iron Man. I'm like, no, like that. Like in what world does that make any sense? Like sure. Yeah. Again, like, why would a scroll be Iron Man? Why would a scroll Iron Man sacrifice himself? It falls apart in a million places. I feel like the Cap one is that way. Sorry, rant over.
It's all good. I didn't agree with it either.
Yeah, no, I know it wasn't your statement.
Interesting
Yeah. All right.
because they have been throwing that around, I think, twice now in the MCU, like Captain America on the moon.
I think that's just people wanting to see Cap come back, which I get. I want to see him come back too. I don't think he should, but I mean, I'm always
Well, I
down
mean,
for more Chris Evans.
yeah, I feel like they said it. Where did they say? Where did I hear that the first time? Miss Marvel.
Is that like they said it in the show?
Yeah, they've said it in two MCU projects.
Oh, really? It shows how
Yeah.
much I paid attention. Shoot.
They were like the smallest, like little,
Yeah,
like
just little
they're supposed to
mentions.
be funny, but it's also like, were you being funny there?
Yeah. Once you hear it more than once, it's like, okay, is there actually something to this, or is it still a joke?
Yeah.
I need to look that up now when I get off of here. Okay. All right, next one. Switching gears, going away from Marvel. Interstellar is the best Christopher Nolan film. 3, 2, 1. No.
Yes.
I mean, I can't even. It's not like that's a hot take. That's not a hot take at all.
Yeah.
I feel like most people probably lean where you're leaning, which is yes. I think it's The Dark Knight personally, and that's just personal bias. It's my favorite of those. Now, is it maybe the best, most well done? I don't know. Interstellar is unbelievable.
I've had a lot of people argue for Inception
Yeah,
on that one
I
too. And I
personally,
can see it.
personally, I like Inception more than Interstellar, but they're super close. It's not like I think one is bad. I think Interstellar is an unbelievable movie, but I like Inception just a little bit more.
Yeah.
I
That's
also
where I'm
like
at.
some of the actors in it. Like I'm a really big Leo fan, huge Tom Hardy fan. Love Tom Hardy in anything he's in. So that adds to my love for Inception as well.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any more? I got one more.
I don't have any more.
Okay, last one. Barbie will outsell Oppenheimer at the box office. 3, 2, 1. Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
I think so.
Again, I think
And-
Oppenheimer will be the better movie. I think Barbie's going to be more rewatchable. It's also going to appeal to a larger audience.
Yeah, Barbie. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Barbie hits way more of a age range than Oppenheimer will.
Yep. Yeah. Well, especially not to mention Oppenheimer is rated R, so
Yeah.
that's already going to limit quite a bit who's going to see it. Whereas Barbie's going to be everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Wait.
there are so many like younger kids who are. This will be their reintroduction into Barbie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it box office success doesn't mean a movie's bad or good. There have been so many all time greats that just weren't hits at the box office. Just it is what it is.
yeah, like Thor: Love and Thunder.
Shut up. Leave the podcast now, sir.
I'm joking.
Get out. Okay. Let's get into Secret Invasion. So, Secret Invasion, episode 3. General reaction. I think that this was the best episode in the series by far. I feel like that's the
for
consensus I've seen.
Yeah, definitely.
It was, yeah. Oh my gosh, it was just so good. I already talked about how much I love how villain focused it is. I love that we already knew it at the end of episode 2 just because of what they talked about and what we saw. But I love that it's confirmed, and we even heard Gravik say that super Skrulls are a thing.
Has
That was
Extremis.
cool. He has Extremis. He 100% like he has all the powers by now.
Yeah.
There's no way he just has one. We know he's going to use the group powers at some point because we saw that in the trailer. And yeah,
That's crazy.
I
They
just
got a
think
whole group.
I just think it's super cool how, because I don't know if you got to listen to the last podcast episode yet, but I talked
Mhm.
about, and I did a video on it where the original Super Skrull in the comics first got, like, the first powers he mimicked were the Fantastic Four
Fantastic.
powers. So
Yeah.
it's so cool that, like, the Fantastic Four doesn't exist in the MCU, but they were able to still basically mimic the Fantastic Four powers in their own way. I think that was a really neat little nod, because they could have just done anything, but clearly they
Yeah.
tried to make it as close to the Fantastic Four as they could, which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah, I think that's pretty neat too. I did see that I listened to the last one.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're a real one.
I
Yeah,
am the co-host, so
that's true.
kind of feel like I got to.
One thing I love so much, and you know, it's so interesting to hear people talk about why they do or don't like the show. Fans are just like, I was going to say Marvel fans, but that's not true. Fans in general are just so funny to me because they will complain about one thing. And then when they don't get the one thing, they'll complain about that.
That thing, yep.
For Marvel fans, it's been complain that everything is just like a CGI fest with bunch of fighting and a bunch of action. That's all Marvel movies are, is just tons of action. And man, where are the shows or the movies with real depth and gritty and, you know, like down to earth, grounded? And that's exactly what this show is. And I've seen so many people say, "Oh, this show's boring. It's too much dialogue, and there's no action, there's no superheroes." And I'm like, what are you guys talking about, bro? Yeah, you're the same person complaining that there was too much action, too much, like, yeah, I just don't get it. I love how much dialogue there's been, just because it's been good. Like, it's been really well written, and there have been deep, heavy conversations in every single episode of the show.
Oh yeah, like the Talos and Nick Fury train.
Yeah,
one.
right.
That was really good.
The Talos Nick Fury train one was good, bro. Talking about just fans that drive me nuts. I had a guy comment on Instagram about episode 2, and he complained that he hated the episode because Disney went too woke with the conversation with Nick Fury and Talos, and then the conversation between Nick Fury and Rhodey. And so I even questioned him, and I was like, by too woke, do you just mean you were uncomfortable because a black man had a conversation about how hard it is to grow up in America? Well, no, you know, and he tried to push back and talk about, you know, basically backtrack, but then he talked about how, whoa, the conversation between Nick Fury and Rhodey was just so unnecessary. I'm like, just tell me you're racist, man. Like, let's just get to the heart of it. If you're really uncomfortable listening to a black man talk about how difficult he had it growing up in America, then you know what? You probably need to look inside a little bit, because. But I've seen so many comments like that. I'm just like, dude, this is like, just at least maybe don't hide it. Like, out yourselves. Let us know you're a closet racist. But still, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not even like it was like politically driven.
Not at all. That's what was shocking. None whatsoever.
Right, and you could tell the whole conversation was them two kind of feeling each other out. Like,
yeah,
Nick's like mostly saying all this stuff because he's like trying to figure out if Rhodey's a Skrull, which he probably is, 100%.
I think so, but now I'm starting to think like there's a little tiny part of me that's like, what if he's not? Like, what if they're setting this up to make us think he is, and it's going to turn out that like Rhodey has actually been undercover, like almost acting like a Skrull, and he's not. I don't know. I feel like there are going to be some insane twists that are just going to blow our minds, and there already have been.
Yeah, like I do think there's some validity to that theory of Nick with glasses is real Nick,
dude,
and then Nick without glasses is
bro.
Because they got two different,
I can see that
mannerisms and personality, like almost.
Dude, yeah, I think there's going to be some kind of massive twist with Nick Fury. Whether it's that he's been a Skrull this entire time and real Nick Fury's been dead since Captain America the Winter Soldier, whether it's that there's two and there's like the real one and the fake one at the same time like they're both there during the show. I've also seen some people say the real one is still in space, and at some point during the series, he's going to come down and like shoot the fake one because he's going to realize someone's been impersonating him this whole time. Uh, yeah, and honestly, I could see either one of those being true. I think there's going to be some sort of twist.
Yeah, it's because like I don't know. Yeah, if he came down and shot the impersonator after the third episode, I feel like it should have happened already because there's a lot he would need to be caught up on.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unless he just knows from space.
Yeah, I think there's and that's like that kind of leads to the conversation about who the heartbreaking scroll reveal is because Marvel before the show came out has said like they advertised this that there is going to be a heartbreaking reveal of somebody being a scroll that we don't expect. There's it's just going to shatter our hearts. And I've been trying to think of who
Oh,
that would be.
I know who
And
it is. It's Kevin.
who?
Kevin from She-Hulk.
Oh, I was like, who? Kevin? What? Kevin Feige's a scroll this
Kevin
entire time.
Feige's
Doesn't even surprise
actually a
me.
Skrull.
But I'm like, racking my brain. Like, Rhodey obviously isn't it. He may be a scroll, but that's not the heartbreaking one. Let's be honest. It's not going to shatter
Right.
anyone's dreams if Rhodey turns out to be a scroll. I don't know who else it could be, unless there's some other cameo, which I feel like might just end up being super out of place if they just bring it in just to reveal that that person's a scroll. It would just definitely be like forced almost. So I almost feel like
Right.
it has to be somebody in the show. To me, it would have to be Nick. I don't know. My guess is Fury, but then you have all these other Fury theories as well. I just don't know who
Kang.
else it would be. Truly, who?
Kang.
Kang. He's a scroll. Yeah, Kang might need
Kang's
to be.
actually a Skrull.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I feel like it's Nick Fury. Like because they do when the Skrulls take the place of the person, with the shell or whatever,
Yeah.
they download their memories essentially. So like if a Skrull and Fury when they first met, you know, downloaded all Nick's thoughts, and then kind of assimilated himself while Nick goes to
Yeah.
space and this one stays on Earth. And he just, he knows everything Nick does, but now he kind of develops like another personality of Nick. So
Yeah.
maybe it's gonna be like one of those situations where we've got two, but
Well, and I
they
thought
start
wasn't it earlier in the show, or maybe it was in Captain Marvel? I can't remember where, but it was mentioned that like yeah, if a scroll is basically imitating a person for long enough, they can almost forget that they're a scroll. And
Yeah,
like the two just kind of become one. So that could very well be the case where it's like if Nick Fury is a scroll, it's not like he's a scroll that is trying to like get one by on somebody. He just
right.
legitimately thinks he's Nick Fury at this point.
Yeah.
I could see that for sure. Dude, talking about intense scenes, really well written scenes, and just heavy conversations. That scene with Gravik and Talos, where they're at the like I don't know if it's like restaurant or wherever. That might be one of the best scenes, if not the best, in any Disney Plus Marvel TV
Yeah.
show yet, bro. That show or that scene was intense.
It was
And
intense.
bro, and when Talos thought he was going to get one over on Gravik and he goes to beat him up and all of a sudden every person stands up and they turn into Gravik and you realize everyone's a scroll. Oh, that was hardcore.
Yeah. I think that one for me, my favorite scene that they've done so far was in that first episode when Fury was following Gravik and he was going behind things and
Oh,
coming
kept
out of
turning it.
everything.
Yeah, kept changing
Oh,
into something
dude,
else. Yeah, that was cool too.
that one was almost eerie. It was
Yeah,
like, ooh, and then changes into Nick and shoots Maria
bro,
Hill.
that had
Ooh,
my jaw on the floor. This show has done a phenomenal job of that, just making you not know who to trust. Like you feel what the characters are feeling, especially in that first episode. In that first episode, dude, the whole time I'm like, I don't know who's good and who's not. They
yeah,
start
you're
off the
like
show with Ross being a scroll. Yeah, they kill off Maria Hill, and you think it's fake, but nope, that was real,
100% real. Yep, she's gone.
dude. Oh yeah,
And one theory I did see slash kind of was thinking about it beforehand, so I'm gonna claim it as my own.
yes,
Um, was Talos's wife Soren? is actually still alive, and she's the one impersonating Nick Fury.
Yeah, dude, I've heard that too, and again, it makes a lot of sense, and also it explains like there have been some moments between Talos and Nick where I'm like, yeah, I get a little too close there.
It's like, yeah, I get you guys are homies, but like,
right? I'm never putting like, listen, dude, when you come into town in September, we're not putting our foreheads together like that. Like, I don't care, man.
Yeah.
We're not like that.
I'll be like Jesus and wash your feet, bro. But I am not going to
You don't want to touch these feet, man. I'm telling you right now, it's a bad day for you. No, I know. I think that. Yeah. Again, I feel like all of these Nick Fury theories, all of them, could be valid. You know what this reminds me of with Secret Invasion so much? This gives me the feeling that we had when we were watching WandaVision and all these Mephisto theories. Like everybody was Mephisto. Remember that? Every week, dude, someone else was Mephisto. Something else pointed to him. And it got so out of control, it became a meme. But for a while, it was legitimate theorizing every week. Like, man, it just seems like he's working in the shadows somewhere. And that's what this feels like. Yeah, She-Hulk. I mean, there's a pretty clear reference to him in that, I feel like. Yeah. But this is the same with Secret Invasion. We're theorizing like crazy, and a lot of them seem really legit. And to be honest, we're probably so far off base on pretty much every single one. One of them has to be right, though. Somebody out there is right. They just don't know it. Yeah. But that's what it gives me. It gives me heavy Mephisto vibes.
It gives me heavy, WandaVision vibes because we're all,
every week trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I love that feeling, though. That's a well done show. Do you think Gaia is really gone? Do you think she died?
No shot.
Yeah.
No shot.
No way.
No. She's got extremis powers.
I think so too. That'd be my first guess, that she has extremis powers and she got them at some point prior to leaving the compound. My other guess is that it's not even actually her. That someone was impersonating her and like knowing that she was going to need to get away. My third guess,
she recruited, probably.
Yeah. My third guess is that she was just wearing, like, she maybe doesn't have the powers, but was wearing like a bulletproof vest or something like that. I kind of feel like it's got to be the extremis thing, though, because the big question that I have is how the frick are Nick or Talos or anybody going to beat Gravik? Because they're not going to call the Avengers, rightfully so. How are you going to beat a dude that's got like 4 different superpowers? If Gaia is a super Skrull, that would be one way. You got to have somebody that can go toe to toe with them. So that's like the only thing I can think of. Because how the frick else? Unless they just lose.
Yeah, I mean, unless Marvel does something dumb and actually like pulls Captain America away from the moon, and my theory there is right.
I could actually see one thing I could see happening. I could actually see Monica Rambeau showing up, and that being a tie-in to Captain Marvel, especially because she has a relationship with Gaia in Captain Marvel. Like her and Gaia were close. And so I think that would be a full circle moment. I think that would actually work into the story because she fits. It wouldn't just be random cameo. I don't necessarily want to see that. I'd like to see it be contained to the characters that are there right now. But
it probably could be Rhodey.
Rhodey could show up and do that somehow.
Speaking of Rhodey, way better story.
Speaking of Rhodey, so yeah, we're definitely led to believe that dude's a Skrull. I'm like 95% sure he is, but there's a 5% chance. So Nick did tell Talos that he had a lead on a very high-ranking government official who he is sure is a Skrull. Everybody assumes that's Rhodey, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it is. It could also be the president. President of the United States. Definitely could be him. Lot of reasons. Something's going to happen with the president because we know that Thunderbolt Ross, played by Harrison Ford, is going to be the president in Cap 4.
Yeah.
So something like this dude is not going to be the president forever. Either he's a Skrull and he's going to get killed off, but then like what happens to the real president? He's got to be out there somewhere. They rescue him, whatever. Or this was a theory I had. I feel like this is probably a reach, but you know, just to stir up some convo. If the president was not a Skrull, Rhodey is, but Rhodey kills the president, or Skrull Rhodey kills the president, because that would obviously shake things up and help the Skrulls take down the U.S. And it also would help the Skrulls because it would make the Avengers look terrible. Like one of your
Yeah.
Avengers just killed the highest ranking official and the leader of in the free world.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like that could be a lot, but that would definitely cause chaos.
Yeah. I think that's pretty valid because I don't think that that president is a Skrull. He just, I don't know. He seemed too aloof.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He was kind of like just kind of lost in the sauce there. And I'm like, yo, kind of.
Kind of was. Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing about the show, man, is like they have you second guessing everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, well, they may want us to think that Rhodey's a Skrull and he's actually not. I'm like, well, what if they want us to think he's not, and then we think he's not, but then he actually is because they're like double fake out.
Yeah.
They got me all over the place. I
You
do.
think that? Sorry, what's that?
Hi, kitty. No, go ahead. My cat's here, by the way. You guys are going to hear him. He found out how to open my door.
What's up, Swanson? Do you think that this could possibly be an alternate dimension that all this scroll stuff is happening in?
I hope not. I think that would be such a letdown, honestly.
Yeah.
That-
I only ask because I feel like all the government stuff with this show, like trying to figure out who's a scroll and who's not, and then the scrolls secretly, making themselves super scrolls. There is a whole godlike being in the ocean still that has only been addressed in a little itty bitty article. And I feel like that could have been like a really good story point for them to be like, oh, this thing will give you if we get a little bit of this material, we'll get some Eternals powers.
I don't know, man. I think you're holding on to the celestial thing too much now.
I'm just mad that we got the tiniest little. You have to click pause in She-Hulk to notice it.
Yeah.
And that thing's the size of a continent.
If they haven't acknowledged it by now, there's no way they are. Hi, buddy. There's no way they're acknowledging it anymore. I do think, for sure, I think Nick Fury, whether it's the real Nick Fury or not, if Nick Fury is real and still alive, I think he's got something up his sleeve. I really think that Nick Fury definitely has a few tricks left, because last episode, Talos made specific mention of how Nick is basically nothing without the Skrulls, right? We basically found out that the Skrulls have been carrying Nick Fury this entire time, and their back hurts from how much they've been carrying this dude throughout his career. To me, though, that sets up the stage perfectly for Nick Fury to do something incredible in this show. What if Nick Fury's just been 2 or 3 steps ahead this entire time? We keep seeing Gravik and we're like, man, this dude has it all planned out. He almost gives you Kingpin vibes because of how intertwined he is with everything, and he knows everything that's happening and going on, and he's terrifying in that way. But what if Nick is kind of playing dumb, and in reality, Nick Fury is 3 steps ahead of everybody and has something big planned? I don't know. I just feel like Nick Fury hasn't lost a step as much as he's letting on. I feel like some of it's an act.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would completely agree. Maybe he's not maybe not 2 or 3 steps ahead, but maybe he's finally
he's right where he wants to be.
He's reeling, and then he's like, you know what, I'm Nick. I hope we get him saying.
we get the first. Well, I guess it'd be the second MCU F-bomb now, but yeah.
I mean, I'm glad Chris Pratt got it, but.
Listen,
it should have gone to Samuel Jackson.
Yes. If anybody was going to get the first one in the MCU, it needed to be Samuel. I feel like they did a disservice to him. At least give him number 2.
Yeah. So hopefully we get to see this. Like I said, I'm mother effer Nick Fury.
I'm mother freaking Nick Fury.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Just
oh, that'd be so good.
And then Deadpool jumps through the final credits.
And everything just goes chaotic. And all of a sudden it goes from grounded show to just this wild show. That'd be hilarious. Last thing, and then we'll finish up. But one of my other, or not my theories, one of the other theories that I've seen, and I haven't done enough homework to see if there's any real validity to this, but I saw an article where someone talked about the fact that most of the people who've been Skrulls in this show so far have worn green at some point, like, or had something with green, whether it was like an accessory or like their shirt or pants or something. I went back and looked at episode 3. That's definitely true for some people. Like Gaia was wearing green. I forget what other Skrulls were. I think Talos might have had it for a little bit. Like even Nick Fury's jacket looked kind of green. Nick's wife was wearing some green sleeves. So
Everett Ross had a green hat.
Yeah. Everett Ross had green. So it definitely tracks a little bit. Now Gravik is wearing all black, but that's more of like a power thing, I feel like, than like he doesn't need it. But
we know he's a Skrull.
I need to go back and look through the episodes because I don't know how much validity there is to that. I don't know if it would just be that obvious that Disney would kind of put that out there in front of all of us. But I don't know. Could be worth looking into. Somebody go do the homework.
Maybe Gravik's not actually a Skrull at all. He's just a mutant.
Dude, yeah. I mean, honestly, with the whole Super Skrull thing and all this stuff, it would be another really good opportunity to introduce mutants or just bring more of them in for sure. Yeah. Lot of room to work with there. All right. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Just excited for episode 4.
Dude, I'm so pumped for episode 4. And yeah, I just really hope the show sticks to landing. It's been so good. I just don't want it to do what the other Disney Plus Marvel shows have done, which is rush things and then just make it kind of a chaotic finale. I just really hope they do it well. I think they will. This to me seems like the one show that will, but you never know.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that's the episode. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. As always, please send us an email with your thoughts or comment on my social media. I'm going to try and just post this stuff. Okay, Swanson's going away now. He's going to start talking and be loud. I'm going to try to post clips from this podcast much more frequently just because we have good content and I don't feel like I do a good enough job promoting it. So I'm going to try to do that throughout. So make sure you guys comment any questions or anything you want us to read on the show. Let me know. We'll definitely take those into account and talk about them. I would love to get more interactive, but appreciate you guys' support. Love every single one of you. Until next time, peace out, nerds.